Hi, my name's Janet Churcher. I'm an independent mobility assessor working with Access Independent in partnership with Peterborough Council. To be an independent mobility assessor, you need to have an accredited qualification to be either a state registered occupational therapist or physiotherapist. When assessing somebody for a blue badge, you assess according to the blue badge guidelines. So when I do my assessment, I'm looking at the distance they walk, the speed they walk, the manner in which they're walking, whether they're restricted by pain, fatigue, breathlessness, whether there's a gait disturbance in any way. And then all of that is looked at in combination and a decision made. An 81-year-old gentleman with a long history of angina. He'd had a pacemaker fitted in November 11 and he'd had a stent fitted in 3rd of July. He's still in a fairly recent stage of recovery following his latest surgical intervention. In terms of his walking, for the blue badge guidelines, he was able to walk 80 metres. He could have walked further. He walked with a reasonable speed. He didn't report any undue pain, slight restriction around the chest. His breathing was slightly elevated. Throughout the interview, the main point that he consistently mentioned was his fatigue, his chronic fatigue. He said some days worse than others. Some days he could just walk around the house and then he won't be able to go outside because he just feels so tired, which is mainly his prime limiting factor in terms of mobility. This gentleman is an 85-year-old. He had an MI about 22 years ago and he's become increasingly short of breath over the last few years. Been to the doctors recently and they've identified some mild ventricular infarction. He had 2 hip operations about 2 years ago on his right knee. The first one was to have 2 screws fitted. That was unsuccessful, so it was followed up by a total knee replacement. He reports mild to moderate pain in his right hip, but it doesn't seem to be significantly impairing his mobility. He walked outside with me, as you can see, to the car park. He was able to walk and talk. He does have a Ventolin inhaler, but he didn't use it. He doesn't like taking any medication at all. This lady is a 65-year-old. Her only presenting problem is her right knee, which is very arthritic. She has no other medical conditions. She has been struggling along over the last few years with her right knee because she's very young, and the doctor has advised her to carry on for as long as possible.